And these three tenses form the perfect system because they come from the perfect stem. What principal part does the perfect stem come from? Third. The third principal part. So we are going to write the third person plural, present active indicative of amo. So in order to do that, we need to know what the present stem of this verb is. So let's just kind of write off to the side the principal parts of this verb. Amo, amare, amawi, and amatus. So what conjugation is this verb? First. So that means in our present system of verbs, we're going to see A's all over the place because it's first conjugation. So what is the third person plural present active indicative of amo? Amount. What is the third person plural present passive indicative of amo? Amontur.
Where are you finding all this?
In my head. If you want to know where you can find it, in your textbook, if you turn to page, well, I'm actually going to show you where you can find all the different conjugations. If you turn to page 547, we have all the different forms. There's also the subjunctive is also listed, but we haven't gotten to the subjunctive yet. But you can look up any form for any different conjugation, and it's labeled for different conjugations. Okay, imperfect. And our clue for the imperfect in all the conjugations, except for some irregular verbs, the imperfect tense always has a ba in it, always has a ba. So what is the third person plural imperfect active indicative of amabant? Amabant. And the third person plural imperfect passive indicative? Now future is the difficult tense because future is different for first conjugation and second conjugation than it is for third IO, and fourth. For first and second conjugation, the future tense is going to have a B in it. For third IO, and fourth, it doesn't have a B. It usually has a long E in most of the forms. So, what is the third person plural future active indicative? And the third person plural. Okay, now we're going to switch over to our perfect system of verbs. Well, the good news is we don't know these yet, so we're going to leave these blank. We only know the active because that's all we've done so far. So for right now, we're going to leave this side blank, and we're just going to do the perfect active. So the perfect, the pluperfect, and the future perfect come from amawi. And so we have to know what the third person plural perfect is for amawi. What is the third person plural perfect for amawi? That's singular. Amawerant. It had an alternate form. Do you remember what the alternate form was? And we're not going to worry about the passive yet. What about the pluperfect?
Amawerant.
Amawerant. And the future perfect? Amaware, spell it? I-N-T. Amaware. Okay. We don't know the perfect passive yet. That's chapter 6.
What do we do?
You just leave it blank. Okay, now let's do the imperative. Are there active and passive imperatives? Is this on the camera? Are there active and passive imperatives? Yes. active, it's not really third person plural, so we're just going to write both singular and plural for the imperative. What is the singular active imperative of amo? Ama. And what is the plural active imperative? Amate. What is the singular passive imperative? It means be loved. Amare. And the plural passive imperative? Amame. Okay, we also know a little bit about infinitives. That's it for that one, yep. You're going to have the most forms for the indicative. Are there active and passive infinitives? And infinitives do have tense. You have a present tense. And I'm going to go ahead and write the perfect tense up here, even though you haven't quite seen it yet. You're about to see it. Let's start with the present tense. What is the present active infinitive for amo? Amare. And what is the present passive infinitive for amo? Nope. I heard someone say it. Yeah. Amar e. Now the perfect active infinitive, there is a perfect passive, but we're not going to learn it today. The perfect active infinitive is ama wisse. It comes from the third principal part, and the ending is isse. And that'll be the same for all verbs. The perfect active infinitive will be the present stem plus isse.
Is there passive?
There is, but we're going to leave it blank. Okay, that's how you do a synopsis. So it's a lot, and it really is going to test to see if you remember stuff. I'm actually going to go over here now as we go over the homework.
So
And
how would you translate the perfect infinitive?
to have loved.
To have